From Capitol Hill. Now, to critics, this summarizes the Senate procedure known as filibuster, a device by the minority party to keep the majority from doing anything at all. Block, stall, obstruct, by essentially requiring 60 votes to pass a bill instead of a simple majority. Now there's a push to change that system. Joining me is Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison, Republican from Texas. It's good to see you. How are you this morning?
Thank you, Chris. It's good to be here.
Your Republican colleague, Lamar Alexander, is working on an agreement to change the rules. He told Politico there have been no incentives to find consensus. Now that's all changed. He called the last 2 years an aberration. What do you think should happen about the filibuster and about the way the Senate operates?
Well, I think the rules are good. What happened last year is that we didn't allow amendments, and the Senate has always been open. When you have an openness where people can offer amendments, you can come to consensus, and that's the way the Senate should operate. We should take our time. We should have a consensus, but that means we're going to have to be able to have amendments. The reason that there were so many filibusters is that a bill would be laid down. It might not have even gone through committee. The amendment tree was filled, and there was no opportunity for the minority voice to come forward. So I think if we can come to a consensus that there would be an openness in the process, that will solve any problems of obstruction. Now, of course, there are times, Chris, when we are going to try to stop something, but that is really rare. It's just that we want to be able to offer our amendments and see if we can come to a consensus.
Well, as you know, Senator, one possible reform is what they call a talking filibuster. I mean, it's been that all you had to do was essentially say, we've got 41 people to filibuster, and then a bill was dead. Now they'd have to kind of pull a Bernie Sanders and actually talk for hours on end. Is that what should happen?
Well, I think that requiring someone to actually talk would cut down on the number of filibusters, that's for sure. But I do think that you're going to have an open amendment process, and that's the real issue.
Let me ask you about an article that was in Politico today. It talks about, and this is their term, the Schumerization of the Senate, that Senate Democrats have a messaging problem. They're going to work harder in their districts to make sure people know who they are and where they stand. Tell me about the Republican approach in this new Senate, because you've got the flip side of the problem, as you had in the last session of Congress, from what the House Republicans have now being in the majority.
Well, I think it's not a message problem that the Democrats have. It was a policy problem. It was that they were doing things the American people don't like. The takeover of our health care system, paying for it with $500 billion in Medicare cuts, not wanting to cut taxes, instead wanting to increase taxes in this environment, not concentrating on the debt. That's the problem. It's not messaging. It is that we need to have policies that are going to carry our country forward in a responsible way, and that's what Republicans are going to try to focus on.
Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Chris.
Now, Vice President Biden got out of a tricky situation yesterday with a little bait and switch on Capitol Hill.